Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Show. It is a pleasure to be with you today. And today we're going to the US. We will talk about gratitude, but we will talk about gratitude in the context of a book. My guest today is Dr. Trina Wilson. She is a renowned speaker, mental health practitioner, and she's also a transformational coach. And we will talk about her latest book to talk about gratitude. And I hope that you're going to enjoy this episode because there's going to be so much shared during the our conversation, and I hope you have something to record or to write on. And if you're watching live, please share with your network. And so the book that we're going to focus on is called Wells of Gratitude. It's the simple things. So I understand that it's a heartfelt invited us to slow down, recognize life's quiet blessings, and rediscover peace in the present moment. So let us know where you're watching from. I will bring Dr. Trina today. And don't hesitate to participate if you're watching live. This show is for you. It's for you to get, the tools, the philosophy, and the processes and everything that you need to go to the next level of your greatness. So sit tight, have your a pen and paper, and just join us and during this conversation, because I know you're going to learn a lot from it. So don't go anywhere. I'm bringing Dr. Trina now. To another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Divinity Global Leadership Organization.
Real is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily action.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. Impact yourself positively, and from there impact others, and you are not alone. So welcome, Dr. Trina. Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Show. It is a pleasure to have you today, and I'm very excited to talk about, your latest book and how, you came about, bringing it to the world.
and how you actually use it to empower people around the world. So I've obviously, done a short introduction of you, but if you can add a little bit more, anything that, I've missed out before we start our conversation today.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, just to be here, and just to experience something different, something new on this platform, and this takes us in definitely into gratitude and greatness. But first of all, just a little bit about myself. I am from the Atlanta, Georgia area here. In Georgia. This is where I reside. However, I was born in Geneva, New York. So I have the best of all worlds, is what I say to people, because I was born in the North, but I was raised in the South. I am a proud mom of 3 amazing, amazing children who God has blessed me with and has provided me with the opportunity to steer and parent and direct them on their path into greatness. I have 6 degrees and a list of certifications and all of the things. But what I like to tell people most is that I own several private practices here in Georgia. We have an office also in Alabama. And we have an office also in Florida, and we're going to be expanding coming up to the Las Vegas area. So I'm very excited about that. Just excited about helping people and doing all of the things that, I was created to do. I don't know. I'm just a people's person, and I just love to help people just be better and not to be stagnant in their purpose and in their development, but just to help them grow every day. And it's in the simple things, it's in the little things, it's in the encouragement. So that's kind of what it is that I do.
Okay, thank you. And since you're talking about gratitude, your latest book, Wells of Gratitude, is the simple things. So I just wanted to know what was the personal or professional, event that actually, or breakthrough that actually led you to write this book. Can you tell us a little bit more about before the book and how the book came to be?
Right. And it's always interesting when people ask me that question. And, it's somewhat embarrassing, actually, because it actually came about when I met my daughter-in-law, Taylor. And we live a busy life. And I'm an entrepreneur, and I have, a couple of businesses, but yet the theme behind that is that you have to get up in the morning and you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You have to, get up and do it and go get it. And it's not coming to you, and you don't have a steady check at the end of the week. So you're just going to have to get out here and make something happen. And Taylor, she's from New York, right? She's from New York, and she's, you would think that people are from New York are really busy and they're fast paced and they have all of this busyness in their life. Well, I encountered Taylor, and she was not that. And I thought, what is going on here? Like, this is not going to fit in our structure of our family, this is not going to work. And Taylor came in, I call her a silent storm. And, she came in very silent, very, not really passive, because passive would not reflect the woman who she is. But she was very, laid back, and she was not going to allow outside forces to dictate what she was going to do with her life, in her space. She was going to maintain peace, and that didn't mean not taking time off. Well, when I encountered Taylor, I was transitioning from one phase of my life into another, and just trying to hold everything together. And we were just getting ready to enter into the phase of COVID and all of the craziness in the world. And Taylor would just say to me very quietly, like, you should take time off. You do so many things. You should breathe. You should just it's okay to take a day off. And I remember her saying that, and I looked at her like, girl, if I don't do this, this is not going to happen. Like, what are you talking about? But just sitting back and reflecting on what she said to me gave me pause, right? So I listen to my children. I listen to what they say because they have a front row seat of my life. And her coming in from the outside was able to see clearly that yes, you're doing all of these great things, and yes, you're doing all of these amazing things, but you need to take some time for yourself. Like, just rest. So, I believe it was my birthday. Taylor is so, she's so amazing. She, her and my son decided, Mom, you love going to the spa, right? And I said, yes, I love going to the spa. That's where we're going to take you. And I thought, I don't have time to go to no spa today. And he was like, you don't have to go to today, but you're going to need a plan to go, which also meant I was going to have to plan to take out time for myself. So we did that. All of us went and it was great. And we had an amazing time. And at the end of it, Taylor said something to the fact, like, I can't remember exactly what her words were, but she said something like, wasn't it good just to take a pause? Wasn't this refreshing just to relax? And I remember how I used to do that. Like, I used to go to the spa all the time. Once a week, I was taking time for myself. It was my day. Even if it wasn't a complete day, it was part of a day, and she took me back to that time in my life where you need to really do that. So I started thinking about that and I started composing, little things about, let me just do things in a simpler way. Let me consider what that might look like. And she's not a person who wants a lot of things. Like, she doesn't have to have, 20 pair of shoes. She doesn't have to have, 20 handbags, to go with every outfit. That's just not who she is. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? Like, what do you mean? Like, your purse doesn't have to match your shoes? I mean, like, you don't have to have all these things. And it's not that she's not elegant and she's not beautiful and she's not royal and she's not any of those things, because she is. She just does things differently. And I saw her, she was into renting dresses. She doesn't, like, I don't need a dress. I don't have to spend $800 for a dress. I can just rent it, pay $100 and send it back. And I thought, I've never even heard of that. Like, what are you talking about? But as I encounter her and as I learn from her and as I watch her, it's just really in the simple things. Like, it's just very, very simple. You can have the fullness of life and not have all that life offers because you don't need it. So I started taking notes from our conversations. And, they may not have been a lot of conversations on that topic, but I would take notes from her. I would watch her. And I said, there's something to this. So I decided, just let me start living my life in a different way. And it has brought me so much peace and so much happiness and so much calmness and so much pause, until I said, you know what, this is candy. I just have to share it.
Wow.
And I have to share it with my clients. And that's what it is I've done.
Wow, this is really original, and sometimes we want to overcomplicate things, and it's just so simple. We already have it, but we don't actually, we take it for granted, and we don't even use the tools that we have. The time is there. We can organize ourselves, and we just decide to overcomplicate, go the right race, and especially being from New York, I can imagine. So it is sometimes not necessary. But to follow up on that, because obviously you had Taylor to actually show you another way of of seeing things. You probably came across a lot of many leaders, professionals, or even caregivers that are in constant overdrive, and so how do you think gratitude can serve them, especially to avoid any, mental breakdown? Because the thing is, when you don't stop, you can end up, breaking down, mentally. And we hear a lot of stories about, mental health. And so how do they, they use gratitude to prevent, the burnout, the mental breakdown? What do you think they should do when you look at your own experience and the way you've shifted so far?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that. I have a lot of facets in my life, and one of the facets that I have in my life is I'm a celebrity therapist here in Atlanta, and I see a lot of celebrities, and these are the people who people want to be like, and they pattern their lives after. However, they're just people, all right? At the end of the day, they're just people, and we always, 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 whatever we do, we started with prayer.
Mhm.
We just started with prayer. We just want to just be grateful for just being alive, and just being grateful for just getting up and knowing what our name is. So we can spend 2 weeks talking about, did you get up this morning and you knew what your name was? You did? Okay, so what are we talking about right now? Like, what's the frustration? Let's start at the beginning. So we start in the morning, or whenever they wake up, that's their morning, because with celebrities, they can work all night and film all night and then, not wake up until 3 p.m. the next day. So that's their morning. But whenever their morning is that they need to take the first 30 minutes and just give that back to God. And some people are believers that I serve and some people aren't, but you know what? I am a believer, so we're going to start with what it is I believe in, and then we can bring yours in. And I'm willing to listen to all people, and I'm willing to listen to whatever it is that you believe in. However, I have to center myself and I have to refocus myself. And this is the only way that I can do it and provide you with the best service, by doing it with who I believe is my maker. And that's the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, we want to appreciate everybody's position, but for whatever reason, people continue to come back to me. So I want to hear what you have to say, but if you want to hear what I have to say, that's great. And we can just learn from each other and feed off each other. But the thing that kind of gives everybody their flat footing is what you do in the morning when you wake up and you decide, I have one more day on this earth. Like, am I in earth? Or am I in heaven? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. And when you realize that you're here on earth, you need to be grateful for that, because some people did not wake up this morning. Some people did not know their name. However, they did wake up. Some people woke up this morning and their house burnt down last night. So when we go down that road and they come to me with their levels of frustration and their anger and just so much, just anguish that they're experiencing, I listen, but we're going to need to get grounded. We're going to need to get refocused, and we're going to try to figure out, what can we be grateful for right now? What can you experience right now? What can we talk about right now that you're grateful for? And that's how we start. And once I do that, I'm able to lower their levels of anxiety, right? Their neurological system is able to reset. Their breathing is no longer rapid. So we're able to just take in the air that we take for granted. Because if we can take the air that we have in our lungs to reset and refocus ourselves, then we can bring down our neurological system, and we don't have to worry about having a nervous breakdown. We don't have to worry about getting louder. We can lower our voice, we can calm ourselves down, and we can remain peaceful. So that's kind of a lot of the things that we do to bring people back to a reset.
Yeah. And it's important. It's important because, especially in this time of, technology, and, things are really going fast. It's changing. AI, internet,
Yeah.
social media. So there's a lot
Sure.
of distraction. So it is difficult to really sit down and really understand, the basic. Like you said, you wake up and you are alive. So that's, you have to be grateful for it. Just be able to pray, because some people, are not able to do that. So it is important to start thinking about those, little things that we forget about or take for granted. So in this show, we actually talk a lot about, inner engineering, really, making sure that we understand the power that we have, the greatness that we have. So how does gratitude, how do you see gratitude as a tool for, internal narrative, and to help people to especially people who are going through challenges, to get people to go from, the challenges, personal challenges and survival sometime. So, and they are in what we call the surviving mode, into really being intentional about, living. Um,
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
mhm,
People, everybody struggles, right? And I tell people no one is immune to having a struggle. I don't care who they are. I don't care how much money you make. You are going to experience something that you weren't planning on experiencing. And we just need to have a reset. We're just gonna have to reset ourselves. And I try to take people back to the grounded space of listening. I want to be a very good listener to what your problem is. And then I want to just spin it down. Like, okay, so your dog died, right? Okay. I want to hear all about how, you miss them, the tears, the grief, and all of the things. But then I want to take you back to a space where you had amazing times with your dog, right? And an amazing experience. And what did you learn from your dog? And if your dog was still here today, was able to be a spokesperson to you, what would your dog say? You know? And taking people to a space, if you had a point in your life where you experienced comfort, let's just go back there and revisit what that is. A lot of times we do that through visualizations, and we tell people go back to a space, a place, whether it's the beach, whether it's on a mountaintop, and just close your eyes and imagine that you're there. Imagine that you're there. What do you see? What are you feeling? So that they can reset and recenter themselves. You're going to always have troubles. You're always going to have trials. You're going to have things that are going to not go well. However, what you can do is you can internally pull from an experience that you've had in the past, and you can go visit that space. So visualizations of what we do a lot. We do a lot of that for people to be able to understand that you have everything that you need inside of you. You have everything there. You have positive memories, and you have things that are occurring today that may not be so good. But if you can remember a time from your past that you might have been even in a similar situation, you know that today you're not in that situation anymore, although you may be in a similar situation. So what I want to do is I want to assist them in drawing out how the prior situation ended. So were you able to come out of that? Were you able to survive that? Were you able to go on to the next day? You were. So guess what? You're going to be able to do the same. We just need to talk about what that looks like. We need to just talk about some steps in order to assist you in getting there, but you will get there because tomorrow you won't be in the space you're in today. And just to kind of help them understand that this is an evolving process, but everything that you need, you already have.
Very, very powerful, and I hope the audience is listening and taking notes, because when we go through challenges, we think that we are alone, we think that we are powerless, and yet like you mentioned, we already have everything inside of us. It's just a matter of really taking time to listen to ourselves, and some of the negative the negative feelings and negative thought that we have inside of us. So we're going to take a break, and we will come back to this, because I think it's very important with what's going on around the world, to really find this peace that is already inside of us, and not try to get it from outside. So don't go anywhere. We will be back with Dr. Trina to continue this amazing and enlightening conversation. And then, if you have any question, just don't hesitate to ask. And or if you have anything to add to the conversation, you are most welcome.
Finally, I think I want this world to be a more enlightened, a more just and more equal, and equal opportunity and equal prosperity for everyone in this world, not just men and women, but for everyone.
Shared core values, shared activities, shared goals, it would actually help to solidify the relationship. And you can also use that as a kind of test for you when you want to get into the relationship. If the person doesn't have shared goals with you, chances are that the relationship is not going to last. If the person doesn't have shared activities, that means you won't enjoy each other's company. You won't want to be with them because you don't want to do the same activity with them. And then if you don't have shared core values, then again, if you have differing core values, that also might just be the beginning of the end.
Every one of us is connected to what is happening in human trafficking. If it's not your immediate daughter, niece, granddaughter, you know somebody that is. One child that is trafficking impacts us globally. So let's stop it and let's all get connected. Your voice matters. You just sharing the message matters. So let's all say that we have a personal mission to stop human trafficking and to make sure that humanity is equal and treated fairly across the world.
Sometimes you're going to be scared and you just got to keep going, even if you're scared, because on the other side of being scared is your goal, is the success. So anytime I'm doing anything, don't think because I have on my red lipstick from the Lip Bar and my hair is perfectly curled that I have it all together. Inside, I'm going, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm scared the whole time. But like I said, I don't give up. So to everyone out there who's listening, this is an amazing platform, because I'm sure everyone who has come on your show has the same type of strength I have, which is not giving up when it's hard and not giving up when they're strong, and just to keep going. And that is what is so important. As my grandmother said, keep on keeping on. And that is something we can all live by.
So we are back with Dr. Trina, and we are talking about gratitude and the simple thing that we take for granted in our life, and how we can capitalize on them. And it has been already, we've learned so much already from Dr. Trina, and we just going to continue, this conversation, and just wanted to know, because you also look at the neuroscience around the gratitude, and you talk a lot about resilience as well. So how is it, as gratitude, impacting, us neurologically, but also physically? So what are the key impact, and how do you, help people to manage that?
Right. That's a very good question. And I just want to say that I was also impacted. So a lot of times when you think that you're going to the doctor, you're going to see the clinicians, that we have these lives that we aren't impacted. So a lot of times we have lived through a lot of these things, and I myself have definitely lived through that. And I'm divorced, but my husband, my ex-husband was amazing. We just we had some issues and it grew apart. And during that time frame, I did not handle stress well. I did not handle you know a lot of what was happening well. And a lot of the ways that I coped with that was through eating, right? Believe it or not, I was up to probably like 350 pounds. So
Wow.
that's one of the ways that people do when they are dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety. You just feed whatever that is. And all that is an addiction, so people can smoke or they're drinking and you're thinking, oh, I'm good, like I don't have any issues, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm good. Yeah, but you're eating. Yeah, but you're tipping the scale. Yes, but you're shopping, right? Everything that you see, you're purchasing. And all of that is because our internal organs, our internal system, we're off center, we're not aligned. My back, I had to then I was seeing Dr. David Gaston, and he could not understand, like, every time I see you, you're out of alignment. Like, what's happening? What's going on? Well, my whole life was out of alignment. I wasn't functioning well. And when you're out of alignment, you're not going to do well. You're not going to do well. Your stance is not, it's going to be off. Your positioning is going to be off. The way in which your gait is when you walk, it's going to be off. Everything, is going to be off. So we have to get in a proper alignment. Alignment is the word that we're utilizing this year. Alignment. We want to get in alignment with our mind, body, soul, and spirit. And we want to take that from all aspects, not just the physical aspect, but we want to reset our mind. We want to have a new mindset. We want to be able to do that so that we can encompass and endure everything that is going to come our way. But if you're not properly aligned, you're going to be knocked off. If I'm not properly aligned, when I'm walking, I'm going to stumble and I'm going to have a fall. Why? Because my gait is off. So my steps are off. Therefore, my balance is going to be off. Everything about you is going to shift. So we want to make sure that we're in proper alignment so that our whole bodies can function. I don't care what it is that you do for a living. If your mind isn't right, if we're not resetting our mind, it's not going to happen. I don't care how skilled of a surgeon you are. It's not going to happen. We're going to have problems in the OR. We are, because our mind isn't right. We're going to need our mind to be in tune and in alignment for each and everything that we desire for our life. So the key words this year are mindset and alignment.
Mm-hmm. Wow, powerful mindset and alignment, and so everything starts with in your mind. If you're not aligned, so mindset is important, and that will align the rest of body and everything. So wow, that's very powerful. And so I just wanted to ask, in that just following on this on this discussion is so what can someone who is not aligned and completely disconnected can do easily today, to simple things, simple tip to start with the alignment process without any pressure, without thinking about perfection or anything. So what is the first step that they can take?
One of the first things that you can take is journaling. We have all of our clients journal. I don't care where you can journal on your phone, just journal, right? Just write it down, whether it can be in your notes section on your phone. I like for people to write it down. I like you to have a pen to a paper. Like, that I believe yields the strongest return. It can be on the back of an envelope. It doesn't matter. You can just collect envelopes. Whatever you want to do, I don't care how it's done, but you have to journal. Once you journal, you then have to write down what you have in your mind. So when you get your blank piece of paper, I just want to know, what are you thinking about right now? So when people say, oh, Dr. Trina, I'm having a hard time, let's talk about that hard time. Write it down. Let's talk about it. Write it down, put it on a piece of paper, and then let's think about what that is. So if you have that going on in your mind, then what I want you to do is have every negative thought. We want to capture that. We want to capture it. We want to just bind it together so that we can throw it away because it's garbage. Okay. It's not real. All right. For example, someone may come and say, I've been working as an entrepreneur. I cannot break through. This is a glass ceiling. And I say, no, let's write down glass ceiling. You don't have any glass ceilings. There's no one who can dictate your life, because the trajectory of your life is great. The trajectory is going to be amazing. Go ahead and write that down. I'm going to have an amazing week. We're going to start small. Let's then talk about what will it take for you to have an amazing week. Okay. So every time it comes into your mind that I can't do this, this is not working, I'm not going to do well. No, you're going to do amazing, right? Because you're going to reset your mind and you're going to affirm yourself, and we're going to make our own affirmations. And I have a book with tons of affirmations in them, and you can buy them and you can do all of the things. And that may be where some people need to start. Okay. But I like to individually work with my clients to come up with your own affirmations. You're an individual, right? And you have your own things that you need to work on, your own things that you need to better in yourself. And you know what it is that you're good at. So what we're going to do is we're going to affirm ourselves. We're going to take every negative thought captive. We're going to write that down, and we're going to say, we're not going to think about that like that anymore. We're going to reset our mind. So instead of thinking that I'm not going to be able to do well, that I have a glass ceiling, that I'm going to have an amazing week, then we're going to write down the steps that it's going to take for you to have an amazing week. As I said earlier, we're going to start with acknowledging through prayer. We're going to pray, and we're going to ask the Lord to remove the negative mindset, the negative thoughts that we have, because we can't do it on our own. And I remind every client that I have, sweetheart, if you were able to do it by yourself, you wouldn't be here. So, I mean, why are we fighting? Like, you wouldn't talk to me if you didn't have something that you need assistance with. So let's just go to a person, right, who can assist. So what we're going to do is we're going to just confess that we cannot do this on our own. And that's where we're going to start. And that's what I call prayer. And we're going to pray and we're going to say, listen, I cannot do this on my own. I'm going to need some help. I need to remove the negative mindset. I need to have a better visualization of a positive mindset, and I'm going to need help. And I'm going to need you to help me. And I'm going to need you every time I think about something badly or in a poor way, I'm going to need you to help me remove that. Even if I want it, even if it's something that I desire, I'm going to ask that you remove it from my life. So we're going to just go on. We're going to start with that. We're going to map out our day, what it is that we're going to do. And when those negative things come in and say, well, you were supposed to do X, Y, Z at 3:00. No. It's fine. Because you know what? We've already completed 4 things already today. So if we don't complete 6, we've already we're winning. You've already won. So we have to then go back at the end of the day, and we have to write down what negative thoughts came into our mind, because now we have a plan for the next day to how we're going to accomplish those negative things from today. And at the end of the week, we have a list of negative things that we thought. We have a way that we have assisted ourselves in coming up with plans to rectify that. And now we've had an amazing week.
Wow. That's such a process. And that's the thing. Sometimes we don't we are actually we don't want to have help. We just want to do things ourselves, and it can even actually make things worse. So it is important that people understand when they can't do it, that they get help to be able to get unstuck, if I can express myself this way. So
Sure.
it's a very important message, especially right now, where we have things coming from all over the place. It can be very difficult to acknowledge that, okay, I'm powerless, I need help, and I really need to work with a specialist, with a coach, to be able to move forward. So we're going to have another break, and we will come back for the last part of the show. And I just want to acknowledge a few people that are watching. We have Corkiet. Corkiet has been here. He has such an important lesson. And we have here Teresa, I think. Teresa is here. I love the therapeutic style that seeks to teach people how to appreciate and affirm that who we are, and have a plan for moving forward in a purposeful manner. So thank you, Teresa. We're going to have a break, and then there's going to be more after the break. And we will get Dr. Trina to let us know, what is the main message that she wants the audience to leave the platform with. But before that, let's have a break. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're back. Sorry. Yeah, so my question was, what do you know when people read your book? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, so when people read your book, what do you expect, what kind of shift you expect from them to be able to, so that they can, put in practice what they learn from the book to leave a legacy, in their families, in their, communities, or in the, in the where they live, in the environment where they live. So, what do you expect them to get from the book?
Yeah. I'm so excited that you used the word legacy. That is my third word for this year is legacy. And looking at everything that we do is leaving a legacy. And my desire is that everyone who gets the journal and does all the things, and you write your own affirmations, you write your own things that you're going to let go, right? A lot of the things that are in our minds are things that are coming from generations that are passed down, right? So I sort of talked briefly about how I'm an entrepreneur, and my father's children, he's an entrepreneur. So we set up our household to do nothing but just drive, push, 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 push. And from this shift of gratitude, I want my children to be able to calm their lives down, right? To be able to enjoy themselves, to be able to enjoy their families, to be able to know that that's important, to not just have a holiday, but to experience the holiday. It's different. Just
Yeah.
Christmas is coming, and oh my goodness, we're celebrating Easter, but to have an experience of Christmas and to be able to have memories that are embedded in your spirit is so much. It's just so much more valuable. The stories that are going to come out of it. So I would like for people to start a whole generational shift of relaxation. I'm a believer, so I know that I should have a Sabbath, and the Sabbath is not necessarily on a Sunday, but I need to pick a day to have a Sabbath. But when you're an entrepreneur, what day do you pick? Like every day is a work day. What are we talking about? Like, what do you mean? What I mean is that we need to follow the blueprint. The blueprint says rest. We need to rest. And my desire is that we just need to follow the blueprint. I mean, it's really simple. God doesn't stop talking to us. We just stop listening. So it's really simple. And we see those things in all of the forms of our life. Our children, you don't know, you know not to do that. You just stop listening. You just did whatever you wanted to do. And that goes on throughout from the top of our head to the sole of our feet. I just want people to be able to write down that list, and we are just going to throw these things away and we're going to practice it. And once we practice them, they're going to become a habit. And once they become a habit, we're going to become disciplined. So we're going to have new forms of discipline that we're going to pass down from generation to generation. And yes, making up your bed is important. But for me, it's more important to capture your negative thoughts and throw those away. Okay. So we're going to incorporate all things. Yes, we're going to make up our beds. Yes, we're going to brush our teeth. Yes, we're going to have a routine of what we're going to do for our activities of daily living in the morning. But what we're also going to do is we're going to make a routine. We're going to make a habit. We're going to make ourselves disciplined to taking care of our vessel from the top of our head to the sole of our feet.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Trina, for this very grounding, conversation and insightful conversation, and also inspiring, I would say, because it's just a reminder for us that gratitude is not about pretending to have a perfect life. It's just acknowledging that we are happy, acknowledging the awareness that we still have greatness, and create this balance and this shift that help us to go to the next level of I really like that, to go to the next level of our greatness, and really understand that we have the power to do that. And if we feel like you don't have all the tools, there's always way to go around it, which is get help. And in your case, you have this book as well that can be very useful and very very important. So how do we find the book, and how and where do we find the book if we want to get it?
Yes. This is the book. It's the title of it is Wells of Gratitude. And remember, the well is inside of you. So it's Wells of Gratitude. It's the Simple Things by me, Dr. Trina Wilson. And you can find this on Amazon. You can just type in your search bar, Dr. Trina Wilson. I have a number of things there for you to browse. But today we're talking about gratitude, or you can purchase them at your local bookstore.
Fantastic. And so I just wanted to ask you, because obviously there's, you do a lot, like you said, you're an entrepreneur, you're a transformational coach. So what's next? What is the big thing that is coming next, for you?
Every day, this month has just started. I don't know what the God has. Like, I don't even know the prayers to pray for all of the things that are currently happening in my life. But one of the things that I do know is that what's next is building relationships. We are not going to be able to do anything without building relationships. And currently, I'm a part of this group called Brand Consulting Group, and his name is Jarvis Relaford, and he has an amazing platform that we are working right now, and we have this networking event that we're having every month, and it's called Aligned. Exactly what it is that one of the focuses are for this year is aligned. So that is definitely one of the things that is coming up, is being a part of that networking event that's happening every month. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm so excited to be chosen by him to work on something of that magnitude. I'm also going to be in Vegas this year, speaking at a conference. I have Dubai on my schedule, and I'm also working with an empowerment group with Daphne, and she's doing a women's conference in Bali. So there's so many things that are happening this year. I'm just so excited about the growth and the number of people that we're going to be able to help, and we're going to be able to see them reset their lives, get their lives in alignment, and they're going to reach the goals and desires that the Lord has placed in their heart. No more mediocre living. We're going to live in his fullness, and we're going to help people get there. And, I don't know, I'm just so excited to be one of the people who have been chosen to help people on this path. I mean, I wake up every day and think, oh my goodness, this is not work. I'm going to talk to my friends, I'm going to, have tea with my friends. And, I don't know, like, it's almost a fairy tale. Like, is this work? Is this what people call work? I mean, I don't know what to say other than I am anticipating a lot, and I don't know what that is, but I am here for it.
Fantastic, amazing. And on your way to Bali, you can stop by Australia, where I'm based.
Absolutely.
And that would be really amazing to meet you and to be part of this work. So thank you so much again, Dr. Trina, for the work that you do, the wisdom that you share, and the life that you continue to change, to transform. And there's more to come, obviously, like you said. And I just wanted to tell the audience that, if you're seeking a gentle companion to help you to reconnect with your staff, restore your balance, and, cultivate resilience, the book is here for you. Well of Gratitude. It is the simple things. So by Dr. Trina. And it is available in, most of the bookshop and especially on Amazon. So get your copy and don't hesitate and reach out to Dr. Trina. If you need, more insight, or you continue the conversation that we started today on the Greatness Engineering show. So that's it's always difficult to end those conversations because there's so much, it's so inspiring, but unfortunately we have to, we have to leave. And thank you for the audience for being with us. I know a lot of you are going to watch the replay. Don't hesitate to put any comment and to reach out to me, and I will definitely make sure that you connect with Dr. Trina if you need to know more about the work that she's doing and the amazing things that she has in stock for 2020 2026. And remember, greatness is, you always have the opportunity to go to the next level of your greatness. It is unlimited. You have the potential, and your greatness is engineered from within. And sometimes it becomes with something simple, like we just discussed today. So thank you very much. I will be back for another episode of the Greatness Engineering show in about an hour. Actually, today I have 2 shows, so I hope you're going to be with us. And again, thank you, Dr. Trina, for your time and for your wisdom today, and for sharing the amazing work that you're doing to empower people around the world. So thank you very much. And we definitely stay connected.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.